Hello, my name is Patricia Hernandez, or Tricia. I am the Student Success Librarian at the Mary and Jeff Bell Library at Texas A&M University Corpus Christi. I'm also the liaison to the College of Education and Human Development, which essentially means that I'm your librarian. I'm here for you to answer any questions, to go over any assignments. I will connect with professors as needed to help you get through your work. But today this is very specific to your reading 3352 course. So I will be doing two videos today that I will then share with your professor, who will then share with you. The first video is going to be on how to find an article in very specific journal titles. The second video will be how to create a Google website or Google site. And really in that one, I'll just be kind of going through some of the steps, but the main thing will be sharing some of the resources that you can use in the process of building your site. So whichever video you're starting with, be sure to watch both of them. They will help both of those assignments. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this first video. Hopefully it will help you. I wish you all the luck, and if you have any questions, feel free to come and bring them to me. So let's get started. So this video is going to be all about your the site, the Google site that you are going to create and build for one of your really big assignments for this class. You may have some experience building websites using things like Wix or Weebly or Site Builder, or maybe you've even used Google Sites, which is awesome because that means that you have somewhat of an advantage because you have some familiarity with this stuff. But this video is also going to include some resources that you can use. One of the things that I really want you all to kind of get into and start thinking about is the use of copyright-free images. So I'm going to show you some resources to ensure that the images that you use on your site are in fact copyright-free, but are also high quality. And so I'll help provide some of those resources. I'll also share a few resources that the library has to help you build some of your text sets and things of that nature, so you can do that at home. So let's go ahead and build that home page. To get started, we're going to need to log into Google. If you already have a Google account, go ahead and use that. If you do not have one yet, go ahead and create one for this assignment. And then I'm just going to go ahead and type in sites.google.com. Here, if you are not already logged in, you can log in from here. It will prompt you, but I am already logged in, as you can see from my happy little face in the top corner. But this is Google Sites. This is the main page for Google Sites. So once I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and click on this blank page with the plus sign. It's pretty easy to build the site, so even though they have templates that you can use, it's not really necessary. We're just going to go in and start from scratch. So go ahead and click there. And I'm going to title this site. I'm just going to do the class number. So read 3352. This can be changed. I'm just kind of putting it there for a placeholder. Feel free to put whatever fits for your purposes. So that's there. And next I'm going to go ahead and create a title for my website. And this can be anything, and you can even put a placeholder for now and then come up with something wittier later on. I'm just going to do just that. And I am going to say the wonderful world of oceans. And I'm just going to center that So there's my title. It's there. Now, this background image isn't doing anything for me. It has nothing to do with oceans. So I'm going to change that as well. So you'll see this toolbar pop up when I hover over the title section. And the very first section, or the first option rather, is to change the image. So I'm going to click on that. Now, if I have an image already, I can go ahead and upload that at this point, but I'm going to click on Select Image. And they do have a gallery of images that you can use. So if something stands out to you here, feel free to grab it and put that in place. But what I want to show you is this search button. So if I'm going to click there, we see Google. So this is actually a Google image search. So rather than having to jump out, search in Google, save the IDA or save the image, and then upload it into here, you can search directly in Google Images from right here. The cool thing about that is, as I mentioned, one thing I want you all to start becoming familiar with is the idea of copyright images. So by doing a search through here, it has this line that says results shown are labeled for commercial reuse with modification. So this is saying that all of the images that are going to come up in this search are actually copyright-free images. They are images that have been marked as open and available for anybody to use. So you don't even have to worry about that by doing a search through this particular tool. So I'm just going to search for ocean life. And here are all of my options, which there's a number of pretty good options that I can see being useful. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on one. So it's selected, and I'm going to click select. And so we see that it's already popped in there. Now on the corner, you might have seen it kind of sparkling. You have these little the sparkle icon, that's what I'm going to call it. It is a tool that allows readability of the text. So I can click off, and that's what the image would look like. So really what it does is it plays with the image. So in this case, it makes it a little darker so you can see the words over the image. So that's just a tool that's automatically there. The other thing that I did want to point out in this toolbar is there is that option for header type. So if I click on that, right now we're on banner, I can select a large banner, so it gives me more of that image. If I do title only, the image is taken away. And then if I do cover, it is the full picture. I have a preference for large banner or banner, but feel free to play around with it, see which one you feel most comfortable with. So that's our title bar. So that's all set up. The next thing I did want to share with you is over here on the right hand side, you'll see this menu and there are 3 tabs. We are going to mess with all of these tabs at some point. But to set up our home page, the first thing I want to do is I want to click on the Themes tab. And so Google Sites does not have a whole lot of options in terms of font type and playing with things of that nature. They operate off of themes. So these are the listed themes that they have here. You can click on them, play around with them, see what they look like, and see which one you prefer. I'm going to go ahead and stick with simple. I can also click on these different colors. We're not going to see it right here. The colors will come up later. I can show you with Aristotle. In this case, if I switch between the colors, you'll see that bar on the bottom is changing. Simple, it will really be like the title headers or the links. Those are where the colors will come into effect. I'm going to click on blue because it works with the whole ocean theme. If the colors that are listed here aren't to your liking, you can click and play around with the colors a bit more. The other thing that they do have are font styles. So if I click on that, we have the option of light, classic, and then there's heavy. There are usually 3 font styles per theme. So those are going to be your options. So you can play around with those. I'm going to go ahead and just keep it as heavy. So we have that. So our title section is all set up and ready to go. The next thing I want to focus on is this content section. So I'm going to go back to this right-hand menu and I'm going to click on Insert. So I can insert things separately if I'd like. So if I just want a text box in an image and then I'll shift them around as I want them to look, I can do that. But the other thing that they have are layouts. So for the purpose of this example, I'm going to go ahead and choose this 3-photo layout. This may not work for you, so feel free to play around with something else. I'm selecting this because it's going to help me show some of the other examples that I want to share with you today. So I'm just going to click right there and you can see that it populated that exact layout. And so I can start playing around with these pieces. So let's talk about those copyright-free images. As I mentioned before, I really want you to get into the practice of considering those copyright laws and considering when you're using images that you are taking into account whether or not that image is copywritten. So I'm going to share with you a few resources where you can find those copyright images or copyright-free images. So if I click on this little plus right here, I can upload, I can select an image, I can go from Drive. If I click select image, I can click on Google image search and I can search. So this is kind of exactly, or this is exactly what we did earlier for that title banner. So that's one option you have, but there are others. So I'm just going to open up a new tab and I'm going to enter Pexels, Pexels.com. So this is one of those resources. They are free stock photo images. So these are copyright free. You do not have to credit or attribute or anything like that. And I can just search. So I can put ocean. And I have all of these great images to choose from. I do want to make sure that it is within this section. Usually if you get to the very bottom of this list, you will see an iStock photo label. Anything under iStock photo, those are not going to be copyright free or at least not available to you freely. So keep that in mind. But I saw a cute dolphin picture right here. So this is the one that I want to use. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And once I click on it, up here in the top right corner, there's a green button that says free download. So I'm going to click on that and I'm going to save file. I don't need this iStock and I don't necessarily want to join Pexels, so I'm going to click on the X. Now the next thing I do want you to take into account is Pixabay. So Pixabay is the creator of this image. I can even scroll down here and click on info and I see the photographer is Pixabay. So I want to keep that in mind because the other thing I want you to do is, again, we want to make sure that we are showing that we are selecting copyright-free images. So just like when you are working on an article and you do a citation, you usually list who wrote the article that you are citing, where you got it from, things like that. So we're going to do the same thing with images. So I'm going to keep Pixabay in mind, and I got it from Pexels.com. So I'm going to click on that plus button again. This time I'm going to click on upload, and I'm going to take that photo. So there's my happy little dolphin. But I do want to provide credit. I want to make note that I selected this image from Pixabay. So over here on the right, I'm going to click on text box. And you'll see that open up a text box for me. And I'm going to put image from Pixabay. Or I can even put image by Pixabay on Pexels.com. So if I want to be a little more thorough. Pixabay is a pretty broad company. If it was a person, so if I just put from Pixabay, that would probably be fine. But let's say I loaded something onto Pexels and my name is attached to the image. So image from Trisha Hernandez may not sound as well, which is why we would do this image by Trisha Hernandez on Pexels.com. So the other thing I want to do is I don't need it to be that big, so I'm going to make it small. So I just clicked where it said normal text. I'm going to click on small, and I don't need it to be this long. So I'm just going to bring it on in. So if I stop right here, you'll see those kind of faint lines that come up. If I stop there, it's going to snap it to the closest line. So that's really what that's for. Those are little markers. Now my goal is to take this text box and move it right under this photo, because that's where I need it. I need it to be associated with that photo. So if I hover over this box, right at the top center of this text box, you'll see two lines of dots. That's what we're going to click on to drag this box. So I have that multi-directional arrow that came up after I hovered over those two lines. And I'm going to click down and I'm just going to drag it. And that blue bar shows me where it's going. So I want it right under the image. So I'm just going to let go. And so there it is, right there on the image, available to show that where I got this particular image from. So I do want to show you another site. It's called unsplash.com. And Unsplash is pretty much exactly like Pexels. It's just another option though. So let's say you clicked on Pexels and you weren't really finding what you were looking for. Unsplash is another option. So I'm going to click on ocean again, or I'm going to type in ocean. And so here I have quite a few photos, and I like this little sea turtle one. So I'm going to click on that. And just like with Pexels, it has the download option or the download button. So I'll go ahead and I will save this. And this one pops up thanks to Jeremy Bishop, so it gives me who it was exactly. And then it has where I can actually copy and paste. So this is photo by Jeremy Bishop on Unsplash. So I can just take that and copy it. So I'm going to go back to my web page or my site, hit that plus button, click on upload, and I'm going to pop in my little sea turtle. And again, I'm going to, I need to have the same sort of caption. So we'll do text box, but this time I was able to copy it. So I can just copy paste that right there. Make it small. Bring this in. Click on the double line and drag it and drop it. If I want, to make sure that things are consistent, since photo by Jeremy is how they went ahead and recommended we credit things, I can change this really quick so that they look alike. So this can say photo by Pixabay on, and then we can capitalize Pexels, just to be consistent. So I did want to take a quick moment to introduce Canva to you. If you've never used Canva before, it is a great graphic design tool for non-graphic designers. So you're just going to go ahead and go to canva.com. If you have used it, go ahead and log into account. If you have not used it, this is your opportunity to go ahead and create an account. I'm already logged in because I use it very often. And we're just going to create an image that we can put on our page. I'm going to take this, let's do animated social media. So I really just chose one of these recommended options here. You can play around with the dimensions, you can focus just on social media. Animated social media will give me a nice square, and I can play around with the animated features. So that's why I selected that. So here's my square. I can search. So let's say I want to search ocean. And it has a little life preserver, so I can play around with that if I happen to like this one. I can try beach, and I can play with these images. I grabbed this one just because the puppy is adorable. So I'm going to go ahead and let's use this. I'm just going to launch into the templates and play around. So I like the I Wuff the Beach, Biscuit the Dalmatian. I can edit this. I can tweak it however I'd like. I can add other elements. I can change this background color if I want. So I can do something different. There are a lot of aspects about this. I'm not going to take too much time during this video to help with this or to demonstrate this. I really highly recommend you just playing around with Canva. I've introduced it to quite a few people, and really I just tell them to just play with things, have fun with it, tweak things, play with the colors, play with the photo elements that they have here. So these images are also copyright free. Just have fun. Okay, so I like this. I'm ready to go. I've played around with it. I'm going to go ahead and hit download. I'm going to use the drop down here, and I'm going to save it as a GIF. I will download that. And it might take some time because the animations do kind of make it a little bigger of a file. But once it's ready, I'm going to save file. I'm going to hit OK. I'll go back to my web page, and I'm going to click this plus button. I'm going to hit upload. And there's Biscuit the Dalmatian. And there he is. He's loaded in there, and it's nice, and it's animated, and it's fun. So that's Canva. So just know that that is another option. If you'd like, if we want to make sure that we're consistent, we can do a text box, and we can put GIF created in Canva. We'll follow our making it small, shortening that, and then dragging. And there you have it. So we have our 3 images there. So those are some of the options for creating images. The other thing I did want to bring up is getting a GIF. So after doing some research, because when I've taught this class before, when I've assisted teaching this class, or assisted students from this class, the question of can GIFs be used has been brought up before. And after doing some research, I found out that because the nature of GIFs are so short and small, they're considered fair use. So if you see a GIF about Star Wars, you're not going to not watch the Star Wars movies because you saw a GIF. So because of that, you can go ahead and use them, but we will still credit them. So I'm just going to clear some of my space here. And I'm going to, one of the places, a site that I have found to be one of the more reliable sites is just Giphy.com. And so you can search, so I can hit ocean. And I can look through here, see if anything stands out. I really like this one. So I'm going to click on that. And so in this case, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the embed tool. So you see right here where it says embedded. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to jump back to my site. And over on the right-hand menu, there is an option to have an embedded image. So in this case, I could have taken the URL, but I grabbed the code. So I'm just going to copy, or I'm going to paste the code in there. And I'm going to click on Next. And that's exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to hit Insert. I'm just going to shorten that, tighten it up a bit. So there's my GIF, and it also does credit it. So this says via Giphy, and it is tag marked BBC, so I really don't have to add anything else there. If I wanted, though, I could come here, and this says Underwater Marine Life by BBC. So I could just copy that. That's the title. And I don't need it bold, and I do want it small. And so I can drop that in there. And then if I wanted, I could even put on Giphy to be consistent. And then I can grab my text box, and I can, if I want text right next to it, I can start adding text. So that's one way to add GIFs. We saw Canva. This is considered a GIF as well, so you can create your own, or you can use Giphy.com. But those are some ways that you can add images to your site. We played around with the home page, but this is applicable to any page on your site. So that's that. So now let's go ahead and talk about adding pages. So this is your home page, but you're going to need the text set page, your anchor page, and so on. So I want to show you really quick how to do that. To the right in that right hand menu, we're going to use that third tab that we haven't touched yet, that says pages. So we have home. This is where we are right now. If I want to add a page, it's really simply, there's that plus button right at the bottom. I'm just going to click that, and I'm going to put anchor text. You do have in your assignment, you will be guided as to what exactly your pages should look like. So follow that. I'm going off of what I can remember. So it may not be completely accurate. So be sure to double check what your assignment actually says. So I'm just going to hit done. And so it's going to carry the banner across the pages. So if I want, this is where I can change. Maybe I just want title only, or maybe I do want the banner to be consistent. So that's something there. And then I can add another one. So this could be my text sets, and I can hit done. And you can just navigate between the different pages. I do want to point out to you over here on the far left, there's that little cog. If you hover over it, it says navigation settings. So with this, I can decide whether I want it to be top navigation. So that's what it is right now, where you can see it, the different pages spread across the top, or I can do side navigation. And that's where you'll see this little hamburger here on the side. If I want to see what that looks like, I can, up here at the top, it looks like a laptop and then a cell phone in front of it. And it says preview. So I can click on that, and I can preview what the page will look like. So this is what it looks like with side navigation. And then if I want, I can see what it looks like on a tablet and a cell phone. So here you'll see it actually has the expanded menu when you click on the lines there. So it really is a matter of preference. I'm going to keep with the top navigation. I just kind of like them right there. So that is an option there for you. Okay, we're in the home stretch. Congratulations to all of you for sticking with me and sticking with this. Now I actually want to talk to you about text sets. I figured this is important usually when I'm teaching this session, but I think it's especially important because with COVID, there are a lot of things that are still kind of locked down, places that maybe you're not comfortable with going to, like the public library, for example. So finding text sets may not be as easy or convenient as it is during normal non coronavirus times. But luckily, the library has your back on this. For these, you'll still have to find that anchor book and look for that. But for text sets, these are going to be other items that can support the topic at hand, the topic that you're discussing. So let's go ahead and go to the library's homepage. So I'm just going to take this window, get out of Giphy, and we're going to go to library.tamucc.edu. And to get to some of the resources that I'm talking about, we're going to go to the Education Research Guide. To get there, right under this quick search area, there is a blue button that says Research Guide. So go ahead and click on that. And we are looking for education. So once you find it, go ahead and click on it. And we're just going to select the Education Research Guide. So this is for just broad topic of education. So if you haven't been here before, I highly recommend that you familiarize yourself with it, that you take a moment to look around and explore. But for today, we're going to go and click on the tab that says Find Articles. And the one that I want to point out to you is one that's called teachingbooks.net. So we have a few boxes here down the center. We're really, for today and for today's purposes, or for this assignment, we're going to look at these educator resources databases. So these are databases that are specifically for educators to come up with information or with tools or articles for students. FYI, this Ask Us chat did pop up while we were here. If you are on a page long enough, that will happen. You can hit chat now or no thanks. If you chat now, it will connect you with a live person. We don't have bots monitoring this, no canned messages or anything like that. There is usually a live person sitting at a desk, probably in their own home, because of the nature of things right now. I may even be that person, but we are there ready to help you when you need that help. So that is an option for you. For now, I'm going to go ahead and say no thanks. So I wanted to point out, like I said, this teachingbooks.net. Since you are likely accessing this remotely, you are going to log in like you log into Blackboard. So it's going to be your username. It's usually first initial, last name, possibly a number, and then your password. You hit OK. You will have to do the duo authentication, which I will do right now. And then you'll be logged in, and then you can access it like you would if you were on campus. So here is teachingbooks.net. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to search for something. So I'm going to shift gears from my ocean discussion, and let's say I go for something like Air Force. So it gave me a list of books, so I can go ahead and click on all book results. And so here are a list of titles that are associated with Air Force. I can select specific grade levels. So let's say I'm really looking at grades 1 through 5. That's actually just 2 titles that they have. So I really like, let's say, this Mercedes and the Chocolate Pilot. Maybe I even want this. You wouldn't want to, but that's something that you can use. You can look at the filter tools over here on the left. If you want, let's say, for genre, you want to make sure that it's specifically nonfiction. I do want to have you consider or ask your professor about historical fiction. There are quite a few very relevant historical fiction titles out there, especially for the younger grade levels. Historical fiction is a way to take in nonfiction, but in a very classic storytelling sort of genre. So sometimes when you're talking about nonfiction, historical fiction can occasionally lean into it, kind of rides that line between fiction and nonfiction. So I wouldn't dismiss that completely, but definitely double check with your professor. But really, this is an option so that you can see what other titles are out there. So even if I take out the grade level, there are quite a few titles here that I can look at, I can consider. This is very specific to Air Force. If I want to do something like dinosaurs, I go back to See All Books. This one had 557 results, so I'm pretty sure I can find a few things here for this. This is a way to find more titles that you can use as part of your text sets. So it's something that I wanted to show you. So I'm just going to close this one out. And I did want to show this Explora Elementary. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to look just like normal databases, the databases that you've maybe experienced when doing research for another class. So it's very much going to look like a database. But these titles and the results that come up with this one are specifically for grade level students. So I'm actually going to click on advanced search just because I like having the 3-box option. And I am going to say, we'll stick with dinosaurs. If I could spell. There we go. Dinosaurs. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit search. And so as it is pulling up the search, we have quite a number of results here. But I do want to look at these filters over here on the left side. So I can limit the date. So maybe I want something, maybe at the most 10 years old. So there's that. And then we have these Lexile ranges. So if I really specifically want something in a particular age group, I can look for that. So I'm going to go ahead and say this 401 to 700. So that's kind of around that second grade or so Lexile reading range. And so here I have my options. So I'm just going to click on this very first one that says what came before. No, you know what? Actually, going to click on Big Dinosaur Dig just because it has the PDF, and that's really what I'm kind of interested in. I want to see what it looks like within the actual article. HTML full text will just give you the text. So I clicked on that and here's my result. So this is actually 3 pages. It is from Highlights Magazine, and it has fun little items on dinosaurs, and it's a maze as well, so bit of fun there. But this is just another example of some of the text sets that you can pull. So you can actually pull magazine articles for children. I'm going to click back on result list. Just because I wanted to see what other things are there. So we have National Geographic Explorer, Dinosaurs in Motion. That one is HTML full text. There's From Boy's Life, My Favorite Dinosaurs. This does have a PDF, so I can click on that. And so this has the article on My Favorite Dinosaurs. So these are just some options for you to use. You would want to cite this. So just like with other databases, over here on the right, there's a little menu and there's a paper icon that says cite. I can click on that. I will look for APA, and there's my citation. Just like with anything else, I mentioned it in a previous video. When you're doing citations, use tools like Purdue to double check the citation. These are created by the computer, and sometimes they can be off a bit. So just something to consider or to keep in mind. So we've talked about how you can find other books. We've talked about how you can find articles. The last thing I do want to talk to you about is finding videos. So I'm just going to close this out, and I'm actually going to go to youtube.com. Now here's the thing with YouTube. It is a great source for all sorts of things, but it's kind of like the Google of videos. So you get just about anything and everything from YouTube. So if I search for something like ocean life or dinosaurs, I could get a video from, Bob, who wants to talk about doing a fossil dig, but there's no credentials or anything that tells me who Bob is. Bob is just a fan of dinosaurs who likes to dig around in his backyard, which is great for Bob, but not great when I'm trying to share reliable resources. Saying that, there are some very prime channels on YouTube that you can go to find resources. So one of them is National Geographic Kids, and I'm not going to spell it all out because it has it here for me. So if I click on that and I actually go to their channel, I can be here and I can go to their videos, and I can look at the different resources that they have. So there's National Geographic Kids. You have things like the Smithsonian Channel, the Brain Scoop, TED Ed, Smart Girls, SciShow, that's SCI Show, and then It's Okay to Be Smart. So there are quite a few reputable resources that you can use on YouTube. So let's say I am in here and I'm going to do National Geographic Kids, and look, it already has it there for me, dinosaurs. So now I have results from National Geographic Kids that are specifically on dinosaurs. So I'm going to click on this first one.
Get closer.
It's this T-Rex Dino Road Trip. It is actually part of a series, so there are multiple options there. But let's say I want to add this video to my website. Well, luckily I have my site right up here still. So I'm going to come here. I'll click on text sets. And I want to add a video. So I'm going to click where it says insert on that right hand menu. And if I scroll down, they actually have a YouTube insert. So I can just click on YouTube and I can search from here. So I can do National Geographic Kids Dinosaurs. So this is very much the same search that we did previously on the actual YouTube channel. And there is T-Rex Dino Road Trip. So I can click on that, click on the button that says select, and there's my video. So my video's there, and then I can add a text box again. And I already know how to do this whole drag and drop thing, and here I can add the T-Rex video. National Geographic Kids. And I can talk all about this video and how this relates to my text sets and my other multimedia. So I did want to share that with you. So you can drop in and embed YouTube videos. And if we preview it, you can watch the video here. And there's that. So that's how we would go ahead and use some library resources, and then of course YouTube to help with our text sets. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you found a few tips that will help you out with your assignment. Do remember that there are 2 videos, so if you've only seen one, be sure to go back and look for the second one. Both of those will be helpful as you work on the 2 assignments that you've been assigned. Other than that, I wish you all the luck with everything. If you have any questions, I will be meeting with your class on Thursday, July 16th at 9:30. So we'll do a quick Q&A session there. So if you have any questions, you can either save them for Thursday, or you can reach out to me directly, or even reach out to the Ask Us desk with the library, and we can get you that assistance that you need. For now, I wish you all the best of luck. I ask you to take care, stay safe, and I will be seeing you soon. Alrighty, bye-bye.